Jake here. Not sure if I'll record this call or not, but I figure I'd shoot a little intro. Fall colors are out big time. I'm heading down into Irwin, Tennessee. This place got smashed by Hurricane Helene. The exit that I'm supposed to get off is gone. The bridge got washed out on Highway 26, so I have to go in early and then go through the Unicoi Drive down into Irwin. But this is for a Goodman packaged heat pump. I'm doing a tune-up maintenance on it. This guy actually did his own return line. First time I was there, I can't remember if this is a 2.5 ton. I think it is a 2.5 ton heat pump, but it only had a 12-inch return on this thing. So he enlarged it to a 16-inch return duct himself. Called me multiple times to give, free advice over the phone. He just said that he couldn't afford to pay me to do it, and it's only a piece of ductwork. So he did it himself. I didn't mind helping him over the phone. I just had to talk to him when I was done working calls during the day and just tell him, hey man, I'm only available to do this, at night after I'm done taking care of, paying customers. So I was able to help him out. He got it run. It's a 16-inch flex. Absolutely beautiful out here. I love the fall in northeast Tennessee, man. Check that out. It is gorgeous. Not sure, I'm kind of like right into the sun, but I love these fall colors. Alright, well, let's get over there. If I record, I record. Alright, so here's the unit I'm going to be working on. I ended up having to replace the defrost board on this thing and put in a new defrost thermostat. I'm going to go ahead and test in on a heat. I believe by the end of this I'll be able to check the charge in cooling mode. But for right now, I'm going to have to run it in heat. It's still too cold outside to run it in cooling mode. Right off the bat, I see that they didn't ever fix this. This has been like that. The drain line doesn't have a drain attached to it. It just runs out. You can see the scaling there. So they're going to need to do something with that. They probably won't authorize me to do it. I mentioned it last time, but they didn't do anything. So I'll just bring it up on my report. Be sure to mention this thing should have a male thread to female slip come out to a T, have a little clean out with a cap, and then a P-trap. That's all you need, but they don't have anything. So this is actually going to pull outside air in when it's running. So alright, I got my probes hooked up here. We're going to go ahead and test in on it. I'm going to do some amp draws on the condenser fan motor and on the compressor. I'll do an amp draw on the heat kit as well as the blower motor. This tag's pretty much gone, man. I ended up writing the model and serial number inside the cabinet because that thing is ridiculously hard to read there. I don't even know if I'll be able to read the RLA and FLA and all that other stuff. I'll just have to look at this heat kit in here. If it's 10 kW on these Goodmans, they normally require a 50 for the max overcurrent protection. But I'll just have to make sure I check those disconnects. There's 2 of them, and then we'll check the breakers that they're on if they're not fused and make sure that they have the correct overcurrent protection. Not such a bad little setup though. It's still really wet out here. And he's dirty. Definitely dirty. It's gonna look a lot different. You can hear that grit. Gonna look a lot better and feel a lot different after I wax this thing up. This is a perfect example of why you need proper airflow on your machine. Look at all that growth. Look at it. It is so bad. That's, I can't call it mold or mildew. I always just call it growth. But that is bad. It's all over these wires. Look at that. I'm gonna have to check the blower speed on this as well. Make sure that it's right. It's an X13 motor. Looks like it's using 1, 2, and 3 on this. This is a 10 kW heat kit. So we'll have to make sure we do amp draws and everything on that. But yeah, this is why you don't put a 12-inch return, flex return, on a 2.5 ton system right here. This bad, really bad. I'll be sure to clean all this up, scrub it with my cleaner. I got some organic cleaner. I'll just wipe it. Might not prevent it from coming back because it doesn't smother it, but I'll at least wipe it off of there and get it cleaned up. That's bad, man. Forgot to mention on that ECM motor, you could see that the leads are gray, yellow, and white. Gray is for fan on position, yellow is your Y call, and white is for the heat strips. So they're on speed tap 2 for yellow, 3 for the heat strips. That's low speed on this, so I'm thinking we're gonna have to adjust that up, move more air through the system, go up to 4 with yellow from 2, and then go to 5 with the white, so it's either low or high. So the yellow will jump to 4 from 2 to 4, and the white will jump from 3 to 5. More than likely going to have to do that. I imagine the split with the heat strips running is going to be pretty daggone high. Alright, we've been running a while now, and you can see that that return and supply temp is a pretty dramatic hit here. 49 degree, almost 50 degrees between return and supply with the auxiliary heat running. That's way too hot. Way too hot. And you can see here the liquid saturation's all the way up to 112.9. 382 on the head pressure. So we're not moving enough air through this system. So before I do the test out, I'm going to go ahead and have to change the blower speed. I'm going to move the yellow or the Y call over from 2 to 4, and I'm going to move the W or the white over from 3 to 5. We got to push more air through this system. Look at that, we're about to hit 50 degrees now. That's way too hot. Look at that, over 50 now. All right, you can see, look at this, we're up to 50.7 now on the temperature split between return and supply. We're about to hit 51 now, so that's just way too hot. We're up to 114.6 on the liquid saturation, so we're gonna have to run more air through this machine. We had a before I fired up the heat strips, we had a 25.3 degree temperature split with only the heat pump running and no strip heat, so that's not nearly moving enough air. So we're gonna have to, and that hadn't even been running that long when I had the 25.3. So we'll have to definitely adjust some airflow here and push a little, see if we can't push a little more air through this unit. Okay, so we're getting 0.9 amps on the condenser fan motor, 8 amps on the compressor, 39 amps on the heat kit, 19.6 on one leg, actually 19.6 on the other leg, and then, oh man, 1.6 on the blower motor. That's not as accurate as it probably should be because the door was cracked open. 1.7 on the temperature split between return and supply, which is crazy with the heat strips firing. Let's see, and we were getting 25.3 with only the heat pump running, and it hadn't even been running that long, so that number probably was still going to climb. Maybe it wouldn't, I don't know. It didn't run 15 minutes though without the strips firing, without me firing them off. Alrighty, so now I'm going to go ahead and I checked the breaker panel. It's on a 60 and a 30. I'll have to confirm this, but I believe the 10 kW heat kits on this are supposed to be on a 50. So hopefully this is fused down out here and those aren't non-fused disconnects. I'll probably have to look that up, but I'm pretty sure off memory these Goodmans, the package units, the way they do their heat kits, it's a 50 double pull. And then I also need to try to find the max overcurrent for the oh, here we go, max overcurrent for the unit is 35, so it's on a 30, and the min is 23.4, so that's okay there. Looks like the running load amps is 14.1, condenser motor 1.5, so, and then the blower was 4.3, so we're under all those ratings, so I'm okay with all that. I'm gonna have to look up that heat kit, probably just to confirm it, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be on a 50. All right, well, I went ahead and added to this little thing here, so because the tag is so wore out, I went ahead and put the R410A max overcurrent protection. I'm getting ready to put the heat kit on there next. I looked it up online and I was right. The minimum or the max overcurrent protection for the HKP10C is 50 amps on a double pole 50 amp, not a 60. So hopefully this is fused down out here and it's fused down to a 50. If not, we need to either have them have an electrician swap the breaker, or I need to install a disconnect here that's fused down to 50 amp fuses. Put that on here as well for the heat kit. I'll just put heat kit 49 MCA 50 max overcurrent. So everything's here. We got the horsepowers, amp draws, all that stuff on here for future use, because that tag is useless now. There used to not be a fence here, and the people, when they moved in, they bought a fence. I guess the sun smoked this thing over the years. And it's not even that old. It's from 2019. So it's really not an old unit. 5 years old, almost 6 years old now. Okay, I went ahead and went inside and turned the breakers off. I've tested power at these. There is no power. Just want to make sure these are tight. I'm actually gonna ask if she wants me to replace this disconnect and put in a fused disconnect. These are tight. This is the AC side. That one was a little loose. That one was a little loose. Yeah, okay. No, that one's alright. Yeah, probably should use a square bit here. Not sure if I'll be able to get in on that one. I might have to move that, use two hands. I'll see if she wants to give me authorization to swap this, put in a disconnect with 50 amp fuses in it. Okay, I got approval from her to go ahead and install a new disconnect out here for the heat kit side. I'm going to go ahead and mark these whites as hot because it is a 240 volt, and this indicates that it's a neutral. Just want to make sure you don't mix up your line and your load. Line or the inside, load's the outside. And then same on this, I'm going to mark this with some black tape as well, just to mark and make sure that everybody knows this is 240 volts. I'm not doing anything with this disconnect. I'll just clean the debris out of it, mark those whites, and then this is what I'm going to put in the Eaton with fuses, and I got some time delay fuses right here, and some silicone to go along the top. If I install the disconnect, I like to run silicone from that point up and around and down, just to keep any rain from going in and getting in on those screws and going back into the sheathing. That's important to do that. So I got the disconnects lubed with dielectric grease here, the pull-out tabs. I'm going to go ahead and put this black piece in here, and then we'll keep them in the off position. I got that one greased as well, and keep it off while I go through the system. I'm going to check the capacitor here real quick. It's a 40 plus 5 440. See if that's any good, but I'm going to keep moving along. Went ahead and cleaned my fingerprints off the vinyl siding here with some all-purpose organic cleaner. I went ahead and silicone the top, dropping down right there, and then again over here as well. Keep that water from driving down in behind this thing. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and leave these out for right now and test this capacitor, start cleaning all the debris out of here. Get all those wires cleaned up, change the blower speed. Again, I'm going to take Y from 2 to 4 and the W from 3 to 5. Move it up into high speed. I got to get all this cleared out, get all the wires wiped up, check the run cap. Got to take these panels off here and over there, and wash through the coil from the top side. I'm going to take this part off and spray from the inside out. Alright, I tested the tightness here. We're good on these, nice and tight. Tested the ohms on the contactor coil, 18.9 ohms. So it's on the upper end. I would expect around 15, nothing more than 20 and nothing below 10. 18.9, still testing okay. Got a little tiny bit of burning in there, but very little. So I'm just going to call that one okay. Run cap tested low on the Herm side. This unit was not registered, it's out of warranty, so stinks for them, man, it really does. But this the Herm side was tested at 37, so it's plus or minus 5%, so 5% would be 38, so it tested one below. I'm gonna let them know. They might not let me replace it. I don't know. The fan side was okay at 5, but I'll go ahead and recommend slapping in a USA made Mars dual run capacitor in there. When I was cleaning this, I also realized I forgot, which is probably why I didn't write it down last time, at least the model serial over here. There's the model and serial number up there, so it is up there inside, at least protected, but all this other information, the charge, MOCP, RLAs, FLAs, all that stuff is completely washed out on that. So it'll be handy, I'm sure, in the future to have all that in there. I'll go see if I can get approval to go ahead and knock out this dual run cap. Still got to clean this in here, get all the debris out, and wash this thing from the inside to the outside. Got to pop them panels, of course, take this fan top off here, and wash this coil. All right, well, I got the dual run cap changed out, put in a Mars USA made, went ahead and dated it, and then I put it up here as well. Put the original size down below it, so 40 plus 5, 440 volt AC. Went ahead and labeled my disconnects. This is my heat kit. These are UV resistant tags. This is for the heat pump side. And then those do wear off over time, you know, after so many years out in the sun, so I put it on the inside as well. It's a little smaller. That says heat kit, and then this one says, you know, heat pump. So got those labeled. I like that a lot better than just leaving them unlabeled. So those are set and good. I got these wires in here all cleaned up, got all the growth wiped off of them. Took a while, a little bit of a bear to get in there and get each individual wire and to wipe off everything in there. But it looks a lot better. Reached back in there as far as I could. Got the wires off the blower and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and change this blower speed. And what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be taking the yellow off of 2. This is a low voltage speed tap here. I'm going to move 2 over to 4. And then I'm going to take the white off of 3, and we're going to move it over to 5. So 5's a little bit, I believe on these is a little higher speed than 4. But if the heat strips kick in, it'll automatically bump up to 5. It'll choose the higher of the 2. And then we'll leave the green on number 1, and that's just the call for fan on position, which is a low speed. Well, I figure I'd go ahead and show you the coil. Doesn't take but 3 screws to take it off, but that's what I sprayed through with that EVAP, the green coil cleaner by Viper, the Viper green, and then hit it with a gallon of clean water. Oh, looks like I missed a little cobweb over there. But yeah, that's it. Okay, I got the inside all cleaned out. Everything's put back together, restored power to the disconnects over there. Got this thing all waxed up. Came out looking pretty good. There's definitely paint splatter from when they painted or stained this fence. It actually looks like stain. You can kind of see a little splatter all over it. And there's nothing I can do about that. I'm not going to put like paint thinner or xylene or something on it. But it's a lot slicker than it was. The little metal overlap, I call it a dog house, is holding water in 2 spots. I'll be sure to put that in my report. Went ahead and accessed the coil, checked that out, and sprayed it with green EVAP plus Viper spray, and then went over it. I used a half a gallon on it, diluted down pretty good, and then hit it with a gallon of clean water through my pump sprayer over there. So it's set up and going. I wanted to go ahead and treat that coil since it's accessible. It's not something I normally do unless the coil is accessible. Yeah, got it. A piece of grass right there. Okay. But yeah, it's not something I do as part of a maintenance normally, but if it's accessible, I'll go ahead and do it. Normally if I clean a coil, EVAP coil, I charge extra for it. I'm not going to charge on this one because they approved the disconnect and the dual run capacitor and stuff. I've been here almost 4 hours now, so I'm going to go ahead and fire the system and heating and check it out. Make sure we got a good split, see if the head pressure is any lower on this thing. I also mentioned in my report that those need some 1-hole straps, at least one on each 3/4 inch seal tight But that's what we got. If I don't find anything crazy, I'll report back to you in the van. I gotta hurry and get out of here. I gotta get to a supply house before they close, and I still gotta get to another call. And I've been here, like I said, almost 4 hours working. All right, well, I had to get back over here to get some deposits into the bank. I'm over here in Johnson City across from ETSU. There was buku traffic down there in Irwin. Everybody coming home on a Friday with all the bridges washed out down there. Everybody's routing through the downtown area and through the back roads in those neighborhoods. Pretty tight roads through there. And boy, it was a mess. And then getting up here by ETSU is always a nightmare when school's in session and you're in the morning, lunch, or afternoon traffic. It gets pretty wild. At least for around here. Anyways, I got the unit tested. We had a temperize a lot lower. Originally we were around 52 degrees or so of temperize between return and supply with the heat strips running. Where we up the blower speed, we're taking advantage of that enlarged return that the customer ran, the 16-inch return on that 2.5 ton unit. So it's actually able to drop that temperize down to 44 to 45 degrees depending on what vent I was testing in for the supply. The closest vent to the unit was reading 45 degrees of temperize, and then the one in the middle of the house was reading 44. So, and actually no, it's actually a little farther than the middle of the house. So yeah, I'm happy with that. That's a lot better number that, you know, than 52. 52 is burning pretty hot. And that's kind of that sweet spot, at least around here with the heat kits and stuff. I want to kind of fall in that 45 degree range with the heat strips running. So hopefully they won't have all that growth on the indoor coil from now on, and then they won't have all that growth on the wires on the blower and on the heat kit. That's a pretty good indicator, at least around here, that you're not moving enough air through the machine. Anyways, I want to say thanks for watching. Again, I didn't show everything in this video, like testing defrost and all that stuff. It's just too much to show. The videos would be way too long. I spent 4 hours on this job getting it set up for them and cleaned up, so it's just too much to put on here. I want to say thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that normal stuff. You guys stay safe out there. Get home safe to your families. Take care, and I'll talk to everybody later.